Hello everybody, welcome to the Andy Show. Andy here, and in this video we are going to show you how to try and figure out what your dividends and your payout might look like. Now understand these are rough figures and the numbers have already changed as we are selling more blocks. And we will continue to sell more blocks until there is a rate change, at which point we can get more concrete numbers, but this is just to give you an idea. We currently have 1,700,401,665 dinar in our trading account. Okay, if the dinar were to come across as 1-to-1, and I'm strictly using this as a hypothetical, not anything factual based, you can decide what you think the rate is, and this will give you an idea on how you can do it. There's many people that think it's going to be $3 plus. Well, then you would take this number, multiply it by whatever you think the rate is going to be, $1.70, $2.61, $5.38. I mean, whatever you believe in your heart, because there's nothing out there to support any specific rate. And we know that whatever happens with Iraq, that we can't set an actual rate based on what we see or hear. We will end up basing it on reality. So the reality is it could float, it could be a nickel to the dinar, it could be 10 cents to the dinar, it could be 88 cents, it could be whatever amount. You have to decide what you believe that amount is going to be, but for this we're going to use $1 dinar to $1 US money. So if that's the case, then our total trading account has $1,700,000,000. Now let's just say that the stocks all pay dividends on average of 5%. Now you've got to keep in mind, and you've got to bear in mind, that two of our stocks pay fantastic dividends annually, with Asiacell paying usually 1 dinar per share, and then Asiacell paying 15 to 20%. They announced in December that they were going to be paying 20%. So round everything up and just say, and I'm going on the low side because I would rather you be pleasantly surprised than disappointed that it didn't reach what we said. I think 5% on average is a very low amount, and I'll show you why in here in just a second. But let's just say it pays 5% dividends. At 5% dollar to dollar, on average for the year, it would pay $85,020,083. Now you've got, I don't know what the exact conversion rate is, and that's why I put approximately. It could be a little bit under, it could be a little bit over. Again, we're playing with numbers here. Nothing is set in stone. But after the 1% conversion fee and then the 10% fee, you end up with $75,752,893. You divide that by the number of stocks. Currently, it's already higher than this, but through yesterday we had 10,820 blocks. So you would be looking at $7,001.19 per block. So if you own 3 blocks, then you'd be looking at $21,000. If you own 10 blocks, you'd be looking at $70,000 based on a 1-to-1 exchange. Now, saying that and using this 5%, which I believe is very low, is because 47% of our stocks right now is in Asiacell and Baghdad for soft drinks, which have consistently paid 12 to 20% per year over the past few years. The percent of these stocks in our portfolio will increase beyond 50% in just a matter of days. So as we continue to add to our stocks, we are buying these stocks right here. So the more we buy of these, then I believe the higher the average dividend overall is going to be once we do see a rate change. So let's take Asiacell Telecom. We currently have 64,498,618 shares. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to figure out per share on a specific stock, not an overall, because these stocks may pay out at different times of the year. But with Asiacell, they generally pay 1 dinar per share and have for the past 4 years. Maybe longer, that's all I'm aware of. This would mean a dividend payout of 64,498,618 dinar. Okay, at a $1, that's, again, insert your own rate here. At $1 exchange rate, which is 1 to 1, we would be looking at a dividend payout of 64,498,618. So you take the exchange fee away, you take your 10% fee away, and you come up with $57,468,268. You divide that by the number of blocks, 10,820, and you actually come away with $5,311 per block multiplied by the number of blocks you have. Okay, now this is strictly at 1 to 1. If you think it's 3 to 1 or 2 to 1 or a penny to 1, it doesn't matter. You can kind of use these fees and these figures to estimate what you believe that rate is going to be. Again, we still do not know how a rate change will affect these stocks, the market in general, and the prices of these stocks. Will they go up? We hope so, but we have no way of knowing for sure. Okay, so what we have to do is patiently wait. It's fun to take these numbers and play around with them and come up with a figure. Like I said, until we know a rate, it means very little. Based on this right here though, you would be looking at 5,300 for Asiacell per block. Now let's just go on a little bit further. Now let's go on to a different stock, Baghdad for soft drink. We have 44,634,629. And if what they're saying is true, paying 20% of the $4.64 or 4.64 dinar would be 0.928 dinar per share. So you take the number of shares by the 0.928, you come up with $41,420,935. You take off the fees and you end up with $36,906.53. Divide that by the number of blocks and you come up with $3,410 per block times the number of blocks you own. Okay, so you've got 3,410 here and 5,311. You got 3,410 and then the 5,311. So right now, just these two stocks, which are the ones we know pay dividends yearly. There is a bank stock pays between 3 and 4%, but they don't consistently pay. Sometimes they roll their dividends back in, which there's nothing saying they couldn't do the same with either of these companies either. But you're looking at approximately $8,721 per block per year if things remain the same. So 10 blocks 87,000, 100 blocks 870,000, etc., etc. Now again, you play with the numbers as you see fit. Just remember that you'll need to take off the 1% for the exchange fee, and then you'll take off 10% of a administrative fee, and I'm going to go ahead and let something out of the bag that I have been holding off. I think I told one other person, and I might as well go ahead right here right now and make it official. Out of this 10% fee, what I plan to do is take a minimum of 1% to purchase more dinar. It's not going to cost you any more. It's not going to take anything away from you, but we will increase our our stock holdings by just a tiny bit. So each year that we continue and remain in this market, we should gain more, provided they do pay the same rate as the previous year. So what we will do is we'll get this worked out. I will get all this into action once a rate has changed, but it could be anywhere from 1 to 3%, and I'm just going to leave the criteria that I'm going to use for this. So I'm not going to share that criteria at this moment because I don't have it all set up yet, but I do want you to know that it's not based on greed that I'm charging the 10%, and some of that fee will come back to you on down the road. So with that said, I hope that if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I get questions on how to figure the rate all the time. Go back, reread this. It's going to be based on the number of shares times the rate you think they will pay minus the fees, converted to whatever dinar to dollar rate you believe it will be. And again, I'm not suggesting any specific rate here. For whatever you've been led to believe, or whatever you think in your heart of hearts that rate is going to be, then you can figure it out that way. I'm not here to tell you what the rate's going to be, and I never will tell you what the rate is going to be, as I don't know. I don't know any more than any of you, and a lot of you probably know a lot more than me because I haven't had a chance to keep up with the news. And I have a few people who share things with me, and I keep up that way a little bit, but overall I am not deep into the happenings in Iraq simply due to time. So you decide what you believe the rate is going to be, and you can kind of follow this pattern and establish a payout per block. Now, saying that, we are continuing to sell blocks, but all we will end up doing is raising the potential revenue because we're buying into these two major dividend stocks. And what that is doing is it is lessening the value of the bank stocks and things that we don't know or don't pay very good dividends. And you know, that could change once this rate changes. We don't know what to expect from these stock companies. We don't know what the rates are going to be, how they're going to adjust having billions of shares out there. And some of these banks that traditionally don't pay hardly anything in dividends could start paying great. We don't know. And I get a question an awful lot about growth versus income stocks, and that, you know, we got into this to earn dividends. I understand that. What it boils down to is we don't know which stocks are going to be the outstanding stocks once this exchange happens. So I'm going to stick with the traditional two that do pay very well. I'm going to stick with those, and I'm going to build those. But the other stocks may not just be a growth or an income stock. We don't know yet what they plan to do. So those stocks could end up paying 10, 20, who knows how much percent per year, or they may stay the same, hardly pay anything at all. We simply do not know. But you can kind of figure out with this, you know, the initial thing that I used with 5%, I believe that is very low. On average, you could try 10% and look at what the payout would be. You could do 8%. This is just designed to give you an idea of how you can go about figuring it up for yourself. Either way, we wait for a rate to change with the Iraqi dinar. We look for them to drop their program rate and get into the modernized world of an actual rate based on all the economic criteria that they have going for their country. So with that, I will bid you a farewell. Thank you all, and I hope this does answer some of the questions that I've been getting. I will talk to you soon. God bless you, everybody, and have a great week.